Hi, welcome to Main Street Macro. I'm Neela Richardson. I'm also a movie buff, and I think one of the most iconic lines ever said in film was this gem from Jerry Maguire: "Show me the money." And if you've been watching news reports on the jobs market, that's exactly what workers have been telling their employers. But a peek into the actual data shows a slightly different story. And that's why I'm so pleased to share with you ADPRI's Workforce Vitality Report for the third quarter. This report is based on 250,000 employers and provides aggregated, anonymized data on 18 million workers. And so it gives us an unprecedented look into actual wage trends. Here are three trends in the third quarter that you should know. One, wage growth is starting to normalize. At the onslaught of the pandemic, it made wage growth look artificially high because so many low paid jobs in the service sector were lost because of COVID 19. Wage growth actually peaked in May of last year, and it's been swinging a little bit back and forth, trying to get its way back to normal ever since. We saw that wage growth in the third quarter was about 3.3%. That's in line with the months leading up to the pandemic. The second trend worth watching is the fact that job switchers are still getting big gains in this market because of the pandemic. In fact, if you really want to know who made out in terms of workers, it's those people who changed jobs, not the people who kept jobs. In fact, for job switchers, they saw wage growth at 6.6% in the third quarter compared to just 5.1% in the first half of the year. And the two industries that saw the biggest gains from switching jobs were finance and information technology. These industries already have high salaries, but also they are very remote and hybrid friendly. So workers were able to capture a premium from switching jobs in that process. The third trend to watch is that leisure and hospitality continues to be an outlier. This sector was the hardest hit by the pandemic, and it is still struggling to get back to pre pandemic levels of employment. It also shows how hard it is for firms in this industry to not only attract new workers, but retain their current headcount. And you see that show up in wages. This is the only industry in which wages for job holders actually saw the biggest payoff. Job holders increased 6.8% in the third quarter compared to a very paltry 0.4% for job switchers. Now, will all this wage growth mean that wages are finally high enough to lure those sideline workers back into the jobs market? Well, we'll find out next week for that all important October jobs report. Thanks for watching the Main Street Macro. For more information on the week ahead, please go to adpri.org.